The way that boys became men was by going out into the world since childhood and interacting with other people. And it was that interaction that taught you what it takes to be a man. You're out playing baseball, you suck at it, but you practice some and then you get good.
Right.
It used to be being a man just meant you had testicles.
Now you get to go to camp.
What the fuck? Charles has introduced me to, he just dropped this on me out of the blue. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about or what this is.
All right, so this is the Modern Day Night Project. And it's basically like a summer camp type deal for men to learn how to be real men. The whole camp lasts 3 days. And it costs about $20,000 a person to attend this. So for 20 grand, you can spend 3 days getting yelled at, degraded a little bit. Some people will choke you. You get to do this water stuff. There's a bunch of water sports. You get to play with guns. Oh, look, the hatchets back there. You get to throw some hatchets.
This is to teach them to be real men.
This is to teach you to be real men. Once you complete this course, you will triple your income, and you will get chicks, and you will get laid, and you will be a real man.
All right. Well, I can I can appreciate the sentiment because something very weird has happened to traditional masculinity in this country. Oh my God, we're gonna get so much fucking.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of weird.
I need to preface all this. I hate, and detest this machismo shit.
Yeah,
I hate it. Okay,
yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
This is me, fucking decorated army veteran, ex-MMA fighter, fucking power lifter telling you I hate machismo shit. Okay? The problem is, this generation didn't grow up like every other generation before them. They've grown up on their phone.
All right.
And in virtual. The way that boys became men was by going out into the world since childhood and interacting with other people. And it was that interaction that taught you what it takes to be a man. You're out playing baseball, you suck at it, but you practice some and then you get good.
Right.
And you learn to take that as being part of a man, that you put the work into it.
Right.
You talk to girls and you got no game. They're laughing at you and you're a loser.
Yeah, you're going to get turned down and maybe slapped in the face once or twice.
But soon you start learning how to talk to girls and get more confident. And that's part of becoming a man, knowing how to talk to a woman properly.
Basically,
instead of, show me your tits and we'll go on a date. This bullshit.
Yeah, you didn't show me your tits. Now I hate you. I hope you fucking die. And I was like, oh my God, settle down.
You're interacting with other guys. And sometimes you do something stupid and you get popped in the fucking jaw. And you're crying as you're riding your bike home, but then you start thinking like, fuck, I was actually kind of an asshole back there, wasn't I? And you take that and you learn that emotional control and what that means for being a real man. And this generation doesn't fucking do that anymore.
No.
And there's no way, if you don't learn all that shit in childhood, you are playing catch up as an adult. And it fucking sucks. And we see the results of this fucking pussy ass generation we've got here. It doesn't mean being a tough guy.
No.
Fag, what do you... It's none of that.
None of that. In fact, it's very opposite of that.
Yeah.
I have always considered being a man just simply being confident, like confident in your own manhood.
Yeah.
You know, in your own sexuality, and mostly just not giving a shit about what anybody else says or cares or thinks. I don't care. I am who I am. This is just who I am.
And that guy's who he is.
Yeah.
And that girl's who she is.
Exactly. And we let them...
That non-binary is who they are.
Yeah. Who gives a shit? Fuck. You live your life. This is mine.
Because I'm not worried.
We're good.
Right. And if someone needs help, I'm there to give them that help.
Absolutely.
And if someone is struggling, I'm there to help them in that struggle. And if someone is being bullied, I'm there to protect them from that bully.
Yeah.
All that shit. It's huge. It's not paying 20 grand to go through a couple hours of fake SEAL training. And this is all taken from Buds. I recognize it immediately.
Yes. Now, when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, it's everybody who didn't go to boot camp or didn't go to the military, and now they're adults and they can't. So now you can. You can pretend to go to the military for 3 days. And your life isn't actually on the lines. You can do this, and you can go home and say that you did it. It's like going to Tough Mudder. You can
Right.
you can do
It's
the
the
Tough
same.
Mudder, and
And then suddenly you completed it and you feel confident.
yes.
And now your life has changed. You're still the same fucking loser you were when you went in.
Now, I actually did Tough Mudder
Yeah.
1 year. Yeah,
Did you come out of it
because
more confident? See, you're a
you know
different
why I did it?
generation. You're different. You're not
I
like these
know.
guys.
Now, I did it because I had a couple of fears that I wanted to get over. I've never been a fan of the outdoors or bugs, things like that, and don't like mud, fear of heights and things like that. So I said, fuck it, I'm doing Tough Mudder, and I'm just going to push myself through it. And I did. I couldn't believe it. I was walking through mud and swimming in a lake and pulling myself up rope and running through things that were electrocuting me. And I was like, this shit terrified the hell out of me, but I just kind of made myself do it. And I felt a lot better afterwards. Did it change my life? No. No, it just made me feel better. Like, I did it. I got over my fear of heights when I climbed up this big thing and walked across a beam. Does that mean I'm going to go on heights all the time? No. No, I still have a fear of heights. But, I did it.
You did. Okay. So you took on that fear head on.
Yeah. So if that's the kind of experience they're looking for, they could just do Tough Mudder.
I mean, I have no problem with what he's selling. Here, come do 3 days of watered down buds training.
Okay.
But to sell it as this is going to take your insecurities because you're a pussy and turn you into a real man, it's not going to do that. That's not going to happen in 3 days.
No.
Maybe it's the catalyst for some life changes.
Maybe.
And I guess that's good, but to me it just seems like a cheap way to sell vacation packages at an exorbitant overpriced rate.
Incredibly overpriced. 20 grand. What the hell?
And I have a feeling they're going to push a lot of that machismo shit.
Yeah, so you're not hearing the audio, and I couldn't find the clips that actually had like the audio from the stuff, but they're getting yelled at much the same way a drill instructor would be yelling and screaming. So I should say, the way a drill instructor yells at you in the first few weeks, like in the beginning, because their whole point is to break you down. So there's a lot of that breaking you down, but it's only 3 days. So
right, you're not gonna change any bad habits in 3 days.
No.
If you're a sniveling wimp and an alcoholic and a bum, you don't change that in 3 days.
No.
You simply will not. You're better off take that 20 grand, buy a couple hundred shares of Coca-Cola with it, and you get a dividend payout every 3 months. This asshole that says he tripled his income. Well, that's good for you, but most of these guys, they're just out 20K.
Yeah.
And these are lessons that you should have learned in childhood. And the only way to make this society work is to continue learning those lessons in childhood. I don't know how we get back to that.
I don't know.
With the small exception of, the handful of kids that do youth sports. If you start playing football in middle school and you go through to high school, you're going to learn most of those lessons because you're so dependent on your teammates. But for most of these kids that just grew up on the Xbox, they're going to have a rough go of things. A very rough go.
I don't even know what more I can add to this, really. I mean, at this point, and I'm sure this is not the only one of its kind. This is just the one I found.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are other camps and organizations and things like this that are designed to be if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you'll start finding like the Andrew Tates and things who are trying to influence young boys by telling them how to be a real man.
That guy's
by
a fuckhead.
Yeah.
That guy's a fuckhead.
These are people who are trying to tell people how to be a man by basically just being a total douche.
Yeah.
It's an absolute dick knob.
Yeah. And that's the conflagration now of masculinity and toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And that makes me really, really mad as a society. Because toxic masculinity, it's toxic. It's got toxic in the name. But all masculinity, sometimes you're going to need this big swinging dick energy when something goes wrong. Making it toxic. Your jiu-jitsu sucks, dude. I don't know what I'm saying. It's become so messed up. It's the culture, the United States culture. It's all social media's fault. It's become so fucking
really, really
fucked
is.
up.
It is sad that masculinity and toxic masculinity have all just fallen under one big pool.
Yeah.
And that's just how so many people see it now.
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing.
was trying to explain to the 14-year-old why I like having a pickup truck. And it sucks because a big part of it plays into that toxic masculinity. I got my big, giant lifted up truck because I'm a man and a macho. I know little faggy girl in a Prius. That's toxic bullshit, and it's bullshit and probably closeted gay. I was explaining, no, it's better to have a truck because I can tow, I can haul. If somebody gets stuck in a ditch, I have a winch and I can winch them out. If somebody's battery is dead, I have enough power that I can jump start.
Oh, and believe me, we live in Michigan, so this shit happens a lot.
I'm just saying, these are the reasons that I have a truck, because if someone's in trouble, I have the tools there to help them out.
Yeah.
It's not because I want to look like a tough guy and have, the stupid mirror girl on the back of the mud flaps.
Which is funny because most of the time when a pickup truck cuts me off or takes up 8 parking spots, it's usually like this little white girl that comes out of the driver's seat.
Maybe, oftentimes, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to make it as a society.
I don't know. And shit like this
isn't
worries
helping.
me, and it bothers me. And like this whole thing does fall into that same category as like Andrew Tate and those people like that.
I hope that's not the case, but it might be. If they're teaching that,
because it's only 3 days long for 20 grand, so it's all at the end of the day. It's just a scheme. It's a scam.
I hope that it's not just him teaching. You want to get your masculinity back. That has to be a lot more than just showing you how to be hyper aggressive. That's not going to do it. That's going to get you tossed in jail.
Yeah.
And that's not masculinity, just being hyper aggressive.
No, masculinity is not
asshole.
walking into a bar and punching people. It's just being a dick.
So,
I don't know.
This is weird. Where do you find this shit, man?
I don't know. I spend too much time on Twitter. I think that's where I find this stuff. I want to know what your thoughts, so leave them in the comments below.
As much as I make fun and always have of traditional martial arts, like old style karate, the message that they teach is better. That message of discipline, and self-control, and teamwork, and helping each other out. They can't fight worth a shit, but that's not what it's about. That's those Korean martial arts.
No, because
it's internal.
Because realistically, how often are you really going to get into fights? Are you really going to go punching people in the face?
Right. I mean, if you're learning combat, learn boxing and wrestling and jiu-jitsu. That's it.
Right.
These traditional martial arts, but they took young kids and start teaching them that discipline from the beginning.
Yes.
So there is still ways to do it. But again, if you go into that karate studio at age 30 and you've never learned those lessons, it's going to be too late for you now.
You're going to have a hard time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, those are our thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. All right. See you later.